Hello.
Oh, hi Tim, how are you?
Yeah, good mate. You might want to turn your Are you dressed up?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Nice. All right, I'm not. So.
I'm happy to turn the video off. That's all right.
Yeah, no, that's okay. All good.
I haven't had a peep out of ASRB.
Yep. What about? Have you followed up with Neil at all?
No, I haven't. What do I need to do there?
So yeah, I think he said end of this month. Maybe he said end of July, but I think he's meant end of June because I'm pretty sure it's first week of June. I called up with him. Oh God, time flies so fast. So it turned out I had a meeting with Amanda and Richard at Kings Park on Tuesday. I pushed that back to Friday.
Oh, okay. So Friday next week.
Yep. It occurs to me we really need our webinars for each of our products.
Okay.
Hello, Tim, did you hear me?
Hello, SittipornM. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Excellent. Rob's joining us. Rob handles sales for us.
Okay, that's
That's it, fine. Please meet you.
Hey, can you see my screen okay, SittipornM?
right. I saw your skin in Prophit system.
Okay, good.
Testing spreadsheet.
Excellent. What I thought we could do is I can take you through this screen shows us how we use our products and why we made them. And it also gives a bit of an overview of each product. There's too many products to go into detail in all of them today, but at least from there you can decide if you want to know more details about any one of the products.
Okay, right.
So our role is to help liberate planning process in the supply chain. It's been our experience that most planners get, they don't do a lot of planning, they do a lot of reacting.
Right.
So our job is to help them look forward and not just look at the current problems, but look forward so they can avoid making problems. They can avoid the problems that will cause them grief next week. And while we're doing that, we want to simplify their process, optimize their choices, and have a system that's adaptive so that as their business changes, the system can change too, so it doesn't become stale.
Okay.
One of the things that we find is a really good indicator if somebody might need our products is they're probably already using Excel to try and plan. If they're using, for example, SAP or MFG Pro or Oracle as their business system, and they can do all their planning inside those systems, then it's unlikely they're going to be interested in what we offer.
Right.
But it's a really good indicator that if they're having to drop information out into Excel, then it suggests there's a problem that they're trying to solve, that their business system doesn't help them solve. Now, many people would ask, well, what's wrong with that? Why does that matter if they're planning in Excel? And I've done it too. You know, if I can't get the answers inside the business system, we put it in Excel to get a quick answer. And it's good. It's
right.
good. Yeah, but there are problems with it. And the problems are that very quickly Excel can become very complex. We tend to put more and more formula in and we don't take them out. So it can be difficult to see what's going on for planning.
Right.
The models get more difficult to manage as we get more formula in and more capabilities in them. And one big problem with Excel is that you can't see what's coming. You can't see if a formula's been overwritten with a number. And
right.
quite often our planners will try and get an answer for today, but they don't have time or the skills to be building foresight so they can see what problems might cause tomorrow. And I think one of the biggest problems with using Excel is that the best people in your factories, the ones that can make good models, they end up getting stuck to their models because they're the only ones that understand them and can use them. And they spend all the time trying to make their model correct. And I want those people solving the business problems, not the modeling problems. So if you've got a planner that's up till, 8 or 9 o'clock at night working on his spreadsheet to get the spreadsheet right, that's not as good as him working on the, how we're actually going to supply a particular customer. So their focus is wrong when they're doing that. That's not what we're employing them for. So often we find that people outgrow Excel and businesses outgrow Excel when the planning functions are taking too long or they're getting too complex, and there's often a lack of visibility. So we don't know if they're doing a good job or not. We just know it's a complicated job. Is that, Sittiporn, are you okay understanding my language? I speak quickly, I apologize.
This is okay. This is okay for me.
Excellent, thank you.
Go ahead.
Your English is very good, thank you. My Thai, not so good.
May I have a little bit question?
Yeah, please.
Normally, it's most of big customer they have is a ERP or MRP in their system, but it's their pain point they already have, but they never use. May is a ERP is more complicated than the planning standard. So they just should get the customer order planning on the Excel spreadsheet. Maybe for monthly, weekly. After that, they put on Excel spreadsheet. What the pain point? Why they not use ERP, for example, SAP? Integrate in your system. For example, I thinking like VC standard. They already have is a SAP. Then they not success with the planning in the operation, so they still have Excel. What is a benefit for us that use your system replace from Excel?
So good question. That's exactly where I'm up to. If you're on Excel, you have problems that Excel is not. It's very good for prototyping. It's not very good for repeating a process because the formula can become corrupt. It's not designed to show you what's happening in the future. So normally we just answer, what product do I need to make next? Not answers like, well, if I make this for the rest of the week, maybe I don't need to, maybe I will have 17 weeks cover and it's too much inventory. That Excel doesn't help you with those more complicated decisions. And normally answer things like, what materials do I need? If I'm going to make this product for the next week, do I have enough raw material? Do I have the skill? There's going to be 2 changeovers on Friday if I do that, and I can only handle 1. It's not built to show you the extra information, and that's normally beyond the people that build Excel. They're doing it because they have a need, and Excel gives them a quick answer, but not a complete answer.
Okay, right.
So sometimes it's enough. Yeah, if you've got a very simple process, sometimes Excel is enough, but yeah, normally it's if there's more complicated things, and they would be like material issues, or if I have crewing problems, or if I have a number of changeovers that need different people at once. These are the kind of problems that would, or if I have a number of processes together that have to be aligned and synchronized, Excel is not very good for these. Is that
okay?
A little bit?
Right. I more clear about that because it's major thing for most of people for planning standard. They need to real time and fast decision maker in their system.
Yes. Yep.
That's exactly right. Generally, when people are using spreadsheets, it can become very laborious. They spend most of their time updating the actual spreadsheets.
Right.
Now, our systems pretty much just automate that whole process. So rather than spending 4 hours in a day cutting spreadsheets, they can hit a button and they've got their plan already optimized.
Okay. Right.
Now they can just work on the exceptions.
That is a major pain point of a lot of customer for this.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think there's a growth that happens that if the customer's small and they're not working flat out, and they've got 100 orders a week, maybe they can do it in Excel. But if they grow quickly, then and they get 1,000 orders a week, or they're working 24/7 and lots of changes, then Excel becomes a problem.
Okay.
But it's okay, and then you outgrow it.
Right.
So our job in all of this, what happens when they start outgrowing it is the supply chain team gets very stretched and they really struggle. And you know when they're in trouble because they're working late and they always look stressed. But it's often we don't see whether they're doing a good or a bad job. And they will always try and do a good job, but they may not be able to keep up and you won't see it. But there will be telltale signs in the business like too much inventory, too many changeovers, customers getting let down. These are the signs that the supply chain team can't keep up. They're normally smart people and they try very hard. So they work long hours, but they won't come to you and say, I can no longer do a good job because I don't have the tools. So, we need to be aware of this, that if they get, the more that they react, the less they can plan. And that's the bit that as they get stretched and when they're on Excel and they're getting into trouble, they stop looking out 1, 2, or 3 weeks in advance and see problems that could happen, avoid them, and they start just worrying about what's happening today and tomorrow. And they won't tell you that because it's a subtle shift. It's not that they're not conscious of it, but as you run out of time when you're planning, you just start worrying about what's next, and that's not planning, that's reacting.
Right.
Our job is to help people move from reacting to become planners again. We want them to look like heroes, yeah? So what we do is we need to automate the clerical tasks. So updating SAP, getting the data out, pushing it back in needs to be automated. We don't want them to have to plan every job. We want them to plan the jobs that there's a choice to be made. There's no choice. If we will do it for them. So we want them just to show them where there's a choice and let them just manage the choices. And that means they can make faster decisions and they've got more time and more information to make more informed decisions.
Okay.
So we want to show them what's coming and the implications of their choices, show them where there is a choice to make and what the consequences are. And also it needs to be adaptive. We want to, if there is a choice and they go the wrong way, they need to be able to reverse out. If it turns out that, okay, this isn't going to work, they can go another way quickly.
Okay. Team is who is make decision maker when they production plan sent to the production area. My experience is I thinking like OS they have is a job selected by operation people in the shop floor. So when our system load from ERP to the operation machine on the console something, what make decision from who?
About which job will go next?
Right, right. For example, this is they know is for today I in day shift. I have 3 jobs.
Yep.
So when they run is first job, second job finish, but something change.
Yep.
That is operation on job for they can decision by themselves or some guy from planning to arrange.
I see. Normally, you'd want if it was during day shift and planner on there, I would want the planner to be aware and in control, because the floor may not know that there's a customer waiting for this, and they come to pick it up at 5 p.m. If you don't start this job now, we will not be ready. The shop floor will not know this. The planner should know. But it's flexible. Some businesses, like with printers, they like to be able to arrange the work to minimize the color changes. I think we should do that as planners, but many businesses don't want to do that. They want the printers to do that. So in that case, we'd say here's 5 jobs, for example. You can run them in any order you want, but you must have them all finished by tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, right.
So this is a policy that is made in the factory with planning. But a planner can handle either one. You can do either. It depends on the business. But best practice is a planner knows the sequence that they should run in, and they communicate to the shop floor. And if the sequence is 1, 2, 3, and the shop floor can't run 2 because damaged plate or material is not available when it should have been or something, then they go on to job 3.
Okay, I see.
That's best practice, but it's not fit for everybody.
Okay.
Is that the question you were asking, Sittipon?
Right. I just to ensure planning they still have some influence for operation to because some operation they need to produce what product that is easy to produce, right? So so when planning influence them, sometimes they not follow the plan. Anyway, if they not follow the plan, is system must be not allowed to do.
Look, a big. You're exactly right. If you let the shop floor go unplanned, they will keep making stuff that runs quickly and runs easily. But they'll build warehouse and not satisfy customers. So best practice is, but if planning don't listen to operations, they will sequence stuff in a bad sequence that customers want and not good for our changeovers. So what best practice is, once a week we show planning sits with manufacturing and says, here's my draft plan, here's what I'd like to make. Manufacturing, whether it's a team leader or production manager or manufacturing manager, doesn't matter, or all team leaders together and say, here is a plan on Thursday, you come back to me on Friday with what you'd like, how you'd like to arrange it, then we will lock it in for next week. So by Friday afternoon, if I can Sittipon, you want me to run this 3, 2, 1? If I can, I will. If I can't, because of customer needs or availability of material, I can't do that, then I will talk to you about that and we'll agree what we can do.
Right.
And then we'll cement that plan in and then we run to that plan. So operators don't get a choice. It's running job 1, 2, 3, 4. If they can't run job 2, it's on to 3, 4. But they can't run 1, 4, 3, 2. That's not their job. Their job is to run in the order we give. So that's best practice. Does that make sense with what you've seen?
Sure. Yeah. That we need to ensure they are think as a planning expect also, and how we can do is more accurate compared with the forecast. That is a really important system we need to know, because normally is planning is midden from the sale and midden from the production. So sometimes we don't know exactly sale accurate not so good or operation not so good.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. So in this weekly meeting, which is a best practice meeting I talk about, it's we call it high performance planning, where what ends up happening is you agree a plan for the week, and in each daily production meeting we review, why didn't we hit plan? Did we hit plan or didn't we hit plan? In a manufacturing orientated factory, we look at why didn't we hit OEE target, or why did we hit OEE target? That's good. Yeah, that's a good process improvement approach, but a better process improvement approach is, why did we hit plan or why didn't we hit plan?
Okay.
The plan will have OEEs as well, and still important about our efficiencies, but most important, we satisfy our customers. we don't satisfy our customers, doesn't matter what our OEE is, it will be out of business. So we must satisfy customer.
Okay.
Yeah, we meet weekly. We get to talk about the sequence, and manufacturing can tell us if we're planning in a poor way for them. Once we've agreed how we're going to run, then manufacturing has to hit that, and each day planning needs to review, because if a machine's running poorly or if a product doesn't run well, we need to update our standards in the planning system, so that next time we run that, we think it's going to, we're going to make 1,000 an hour, but we only make 500 an hour. So instead of that job taking 10 hours, it's going to take 20. From planning, we need to know so that we're telling our customers when they can have their job and the job after that.
Okay.
From process improvement, we need to know it should have taken 10 hours, and you can go and worry about that and fix that, but that's a separate discussion. Planning must deal with what is happening today. So there's very good practices that we can guide, and hopefully you guys, if you agree and this makes sense for your clients, you'd work with our clients and your clients to help guide them on these practices that mean that planning need to reflect reality. Okay. And if you get them doing that, then they're creating good plans that are achievable. And if they're making good plans that are achievable, we can tell our customers when they're going to have their products, and their customers will be very happy.
Sound very good.
Many of our customers are in packaging. It's just, we've done a lot of work in packaging. So Busy, Amcor. Do any work with Amcor in Thailand?
Right. We know.
You know this?
Right.
Jamestown, Arta Group of Packaging, so on Detmold. But now we also do a lot in FMCGs and some in polymer materials. So. Typically, our clients get a massive return on investment.
Right.
Mostly, more than half of this comes from inventory reduction. When you know how long it takes you to make something, and you're keeping an eye on that, and you plan to what you can make, and when you purchase to what you can make, then we don't have a lot of waste. But when people don't know, when people are reacting and not planning, they just say, I need some more of that. Just give me a container load. Right? That might be 6 months worth, but because they have no time, they react. They don't plan. When we can get people planning, they can make choices about how much of this product should I put into the warehouse as finished goods, how much should I convert, and how much raw material do I need. And if I can see how much I'm going to use each week, then I can order weekly and get weekly drops and keep my inventory low. So a lot of this is from that. Some from overtime, some from needing less people in supply chain because it's easier to run with good tools. But mostly inventory reduction.
Okay.
And that's also a changeover reduction too is a very big part of that too.
That is return is 450 percent is how long lead time to they get from that 6 months or?
Yeah, really good question. Look, one client I can tell you about. It's taken them 4 years, but they're at about 2,500%. So they've saved $25 million in inventory, but the first year they saved $9 million. So 900%, or actually then it was about 1,800%.
Okay.
In the first $9 million, but then we shifted focus, kept that improvement in place, and then focused to finished goods. Normally, the plant will be using our tool within 1 month, and within 3 months they'll be using it well. So they should start seeing improvements then. But if it's like inventory, it might take 6 months to run down. So you're right, maybe 9 months to 12 months, you'd be seeing good inventory reduction. So yeah, inventory you won't get all of it, because there's a confidence that as you drop your inventory levels down, if we thought we could save $10 million worth of inventory, I would never tell people to let's just set everything to minus 10 million. I'd say let's drop maybe $3 million in inventory, and another $3 million, then $2 million, and $1 million. You get down there slowly, making sure that you don't run any customers out. You just be careful. There's time to deliver. So,
okay, right.
You're saying
it's probably worth mentioning that some of our clients have experienced 5% better delivery performance once they've put in something like Prophit e-planner for advanced planning and scheduling.
Yeah, to go from like 90% to 98% delivery performance, that kind of thing.
And so that effectively it will be a benefit that they're actually, because of the better changeovers, and it's when you need to quickly change a schedule, being able to quickly resequence all subsequent jobs saves so much time and and when people are manually doing that on spreadsheets, they rarely get the time to then resequence jobs afterwards. That's where you get the improvement in OEE and effective capacity.
Well, can you get Henry just to change that slide? I keep butting up against that one. It's not a 60 direction head count, it's over time. So yeah, what Rob says is absolutely correct. Yeah, we've seen people go from like 10 weeks lead time down to 4 weeks lead time. But normally if you with a good planning system, you can see when you have opportunities. So if somebody needs a product quickly, you can push it in without hurting somebody else. You can see clearly when stuff needs to be delivered and what capacity you have. This reduction in supply chain costs is typically around urgent shipping. So if we don't need to fly something in urgently or get a single pallet delivered of that material tomorrow, because we've run out, but if we're ordering carefully or if we're completing our stuff in time for our customers, then we don't have urgent freight shipments, and that's what normally brings this down. And this is a reduction in overtime. We can often reduce overtime by being more practical and tracking during the week how we're going, making sure that we've got people where we need them and working on the right jobs. Some of the things about Prophit systems, if you try to do what we do in SAP or in Oracle, it will cost you massive amounts of money. It's massive. So we're a fraction of that cost. And similarly, because our tools have been designed to be very malleable, and we either do the work ourselves or we'll work with people like yourself, SittipornM, who deeply understand the clients and understand what the clients need to improve. Then we can quickly help them. So we're not asking them, what do you want in this tool? We do some of that, but we also have in our heads, how is this going to work? How they use it, that will really help them. And because we know where we're heading and what kind of things work for them, we can implement very quickly. So like I mentioned before, I'd expect them to be using our product in 1 month, like at Food Plastics, Forecast Manager and ePlanner and MPS are in and working. Now they're working in 1 month. Now it's the next 2 months is about getting the planners to start using that. So G, for example, we're working with G to get her to start using MPS and ePlanner. It will take another 2 months, but she will, and it will work very well for them. So this is typically about 4 times faster than what our competitors do in working with the ERP systems.
Normally one year at least for ERP one.
Yeah. So the software is deadly configurable, which helps the implementation. I know I've been doing process improvement for too long. We know that software on its own doesn't help anything. You must have a good process, and the software can facilitate a good process. Similarly, software can make doing a good process nearly impossible. So we must understand what the process needs to be, and then the software must shape around that and support it and facilitate it. It should also show us if people aren't doing the process correctly. It should make it easy to see with transparency and business indicators. So that's important to us.
Right.
I'll skip over this. Here's our product range. We have a forecasting tool, a capacity planning tool, an optimization tool which can be used for like network optimization or deciding which factory to run which product in, based on how much work they've got and what the freight costs are and exchange rates and so on. MPS is master production scheduling is for inventory optimization. ePlanner is where advanced planning and scheduling is where we schedule and sequence within your constraints in the factory to minimize cost and to achieve your delivery requirements. Auto stock is for customers that are more distribution and need to replenish their stock, and we want to manage their stock, and it's common for us to halve their stock levels by using auto stock to help replenishment. We have one customer that they order 55,000 SKUs. One person manages 55,000 SKUs around, I think it's 5 or 6 warehouses now. So massive job that one person can do because the system does most of it for her, and she manages exceptions. And Progress is like OFS, it's a production reporting tool. So all of these are modular. So if you're using OFS, no problem. You don't use Progress. If you're not using OFS, then we can talk about Progress. But yeah. So there's 2 new products that we've got, and this is particularly good for businesses with lots of sites. Profit Dashboard allows you to see above and across the products. And Control Tower allows you to see if everyone's doing what they need to do. So, for example, if you're doing capacity planning and let's say the sites that we're working on in Thailand, out of Pattaya, the food plastics plant, if they haven't updated their maintenance calendar, and I've had a look at their capacity and said, okay, you can do this work, but they're going to have a machine down for 6 weeks, but hasn't been updated in their calendar, then we're going to make the wrong decisions. So Control Tower is about telling you, has everybody entered the information they need to, or have they done their piece of it? Have the forecasts been done? Has people updated their capacity? Have they updated their crewing plan so that we know what they can do? And Control Tower is very good. So if you have lots of factories, if you've got 10 or 20 or 30, it becomes unpractical to pick up the phone and ask everybody. So Control Tower is very, very good for showing you that people are doing what they need to do when, so we can make sensible decisions.
Okay.
If it makes sense, I'll just give you one slide on each product and just explain a little bit more about what's unique about these.
Just to explain one product first. For explain is Forecast Manager would be okay.
Yep.
Right.
So Forecast Manager is about speeding forecasting and making collaboration in forecasting easy. There are many forecasting tools available. But everyone that I've seen tries to tell you that all you need is, you don't need to worry about forecasting, Sittiporn. All you need to do is to have statistics and they will do all the work for you. And to me, statistics are great. They're helpful. But if you're in a business to business and you rely on statistics, if Rob was my customer and Rob was your customer, and then Rob decides that he's going to buy, as of next week, he's going to buy all his product from China, not from Thailand anymore, and he doesn't tell you, the statistics are going to tell you to keep working for Rob, keep filling the warehouse for Rob. And it's going to take several months for him not buying for you to stop making. So if you rely on statistics, or if Rob goes and he was buying green cups from you and now he buys blue cups because he's found a market for blue cups, you will miss this. Statistics can only work when there's reliable, repeatable trends. So it's a very good information to have, but it is not enough. When we're in business to business, we must talk to our customers, or we will get caught filling our warehouse with last year's product. So we saw no forecasting tool that I saw was acknowledging this problem and was making it easy to get information from different sources. What we do in Forecast Manager is we take the customer forecast, we take our key account manager forecast, we take the statistics, we take our budget, and we show that all in one place so that everyone has the ability to add their market intelligence to the forecast, and ultimately discuss in a demand review, we discuss together what we believe the forecast will be. Very quick and easy to use, but we do not just rely on stats. We use them, but we don't rely on them. We use our customer forecast, but we don't rely on it. We use our key account manager's information, but we don't rely on it. So if a key account manager is sick or is away on holiday or hasn't had a chance to update their forecast, or they're bad at forecasting, we can still consider what they've put in, but we don't need to be dependent upon it. So it makes collaboration very simple.
Right. This is on web-based, right? When we look at the Forecast Manager.
Yeah, it's not. It's a .NET application, but it runs within the wide area network. So the database is sitting in the case of Visi, it's sitting inside the Visi network. And all of their data comes out of their SAP system, which is also on their network. So it doesn't make sense for us to put it up onto the cloud just to where it would be harder to secure the data. So we serve in a private network.
Okay.
We do have web portals where the customers can log on and enter their forecast, but it's just a portal. It goes back into the secure network.
Okay.
What we do here when we're demonstrating is we have a database on the cloud, but the application runs off our PCs.
Right.
So, yeah, anyway, so that's, and I'm happy to give you a bit of a demonstration of any of these, or a lot of demonstrations of any of these, but I just thought probably better just to give you an overview.
Right, sure. That's good.
Brilliant. Are you familiar with capacity planning?
I know that because I saw that operation board is plastic and also glass.
Yep.
A lot of, I think in Thailand, they have a lot of customers is packaging plastic or glass.
Yep. Okay, great. So,
right.
So what? So then you're familiar with the task. Many people try and do this on Excel, and it's limited because you can't push the answers back into your ERP system for executing. But it can be a good place to start. But with Prophit Rough Cut, firstly it allows you to quickly answer how much of the demand that we think is coming can we satisfy, and how much do we need to turn down or subcontract. What equipment do we need? What crew and shifts are required? What stock levels will result? What freight and warehouse costs will we incur? And what other resources do we need? Do we need more tooling? Do we need more warehouse space, etc.? And one of the features of Rough Cut is it makes it very easy to run scenarios and create playbooks of, well, if we win that work, then this is how we're going to handle it, or if the exchange rate changes and suddenly we get a lot of work that's currently going to India and to China, and we get it in Thailand, how are we going to respond? So you can very quickly set up different scenarios that guide the business to be prepared.
Okay.
Very visual, very interactive.
Right.
Prophit Opt it's got one piece that I think is going to be very important in the future for places like Thailand, and that is network optimization. It can help you decide where you're going to hold your stock, where you're going to make it. If you have distributed manufacturing, and we have other optimization algorithms as well. But my personal preference is we don't optimize until we can do the job manually, and if we can do the job manually, then we understand it enough to optimize. Many people try and optimize before they understand the problem, and it always seems to bad. So that is why we've structured Opt. You can have Opt after you've got Rough Cut or MPS or ePlanner, but you don't start with this because you must be able to manually do the job, or you can't hope to optimize it, is my experience. MPS is for inventory optimization, and it's about want to take the guesswork out of how much to make of each product. And what we see happens in many businesses is people know that, for this customer, we said we'll hold 8 weeks stock, and for this customer, we've got to hold, we only want to make these products every 3 weeks. And they've got all these rules that they have about how much stock to make that the ERP system like SAP or Oracle can understand. But when they tell you what to make, it becomes you've either not got enough work, or you've got too much work and you can't make it all, or you don't have materials, or you don't have machine capacity or warehouse space. And because there's constraints that mean that you can't make this replenishment plan, then that leaves us very inefficient, and it leaves the planners not knowing which of the products they should make. Many of the products we made to stock, and it's not essential. If you've already got 5 or 6 weeks stock cover, and the system's telling you to make another 8 weeks of a product, you may not need to make that it's okay if you're late a week because you've already got 5 weeks stock cover, so who cares? But the systems aren't smart like that. They just replenish. So what MPS allows you to do is it automatically replenishes as per the MRP instructions, and it allows you to guide and check that you're going to have material, that you're going to have warehouse space, that you're going to have machine capacity, and so on. And if you don't have them, then you can very quickly decide and see which products I can adjust, which products can I make on different machines, or which can I use alternate materials so I can still make this plan And if I can't, then decide very quickly which products that I can afford to delay manufacture on until I do have capacity on materials. And that process is normally not done at all, or it's the planners are trying to do it while they're reacting and they have no chance. So this is the way, and it's a very powerful and quick way of reconciling how much I'm going to make of each product each week. And it also allows us to forecast and tell back to our customers how we're going to hold stock for them over the coming weeks. So when they give us a forecast, we can say, here's what our manufacturing plan looks like, here's what a stock cover looks like. It's very close.
Okay. That will help both is a planner and sale who manage a small product for the customer. If they saw a screen like this, they also can make decision which product they can sell more or which product they aware with the customer is maybe as a back order or shortage.
Yes, exactly, exactly right. And that's, we have had great uptake of this precisely for those kind of reasons, because we make transparent where you have choices or opportunities to sell more, I should say. Or if you can't make enough, then you can choose how to handle that strategically.
Right.
Once each planner is where we decide how to sequence work. And it's very smart. It will load work automatically, and it uses heuristic rules to decide how to minimize the changeover impacts in the factory and which machines to overflow to. If you can't run on GAB 1 or GAB 2, overflow to GAB 3 if you don't have capacity. It will automatically load up a plant, and it will check that you've got the people that you need. It will check how long the changeovers are going to take, and where your changeover crews are, and so on. So, and it makes it very visual, and it's very quick to interact with. So it loads up all the work, it sequences the jobs to minimize the cost of manufacture. It knows all the constraints, so it tells you if you've got problems. We make it very visual, so it uses coloring to tell you if a job's late or if it's going to have material that is short or anything like that. And allows you very quickly to run scenarios and see what the choices are. Auto stock can automatically forecast for you, tell you how much of each product you need to order, when you can get more in. Allows you to plannerize if you're importing, so you can minimize your freight costs. Allows you to look at, for example, if I'm buying from a vendor in India, the raw materials, I can look by vendor and see everything I need to do for the vendor, so I can get them all packed together and minimize my freight costs. And make sure I'm ordering whole container lots, and allows me to see what my long-term stock position is like, so I can make sure that I'm keeping it where I need it to be and not overspending or over or under resourced. And again, it's all exception management. So for most things, you just tell it to tell me how much to order, and then you look, are there any problems? So you're just managing the exceptions, not managing all the detail. And we use color coding and traffic lights to tell if there's a problem.
It's really interesting also auto stock.
Sorry?
That is auto stock. Small interest also is that is a warehouse, production and planning and sale. They can know same information.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Very good point. And then there's progress, which again, I know that you guys distribute OFS, so we're in the same space. Yeah. For us, the major value isn't so much how you get the data; it's making sure that the shift handovers, the daily production reviews, the weekly improvement meetings are all using information. That information is transparent and easy to get at. That's where the real value comes in.
Okay.
So that element of focus of attention on the shop floor. Dashboard, as you'd imagine, allows you just to pull metrics out and to chart them and to graph them, and then to have standard metrics to show you what your sales look like, what capacity looks like, what your inventory is going to look like, and so on. What's a bit different is because this is all plugged to the planning system, almost everyone else's dashboard that I've seen, in fact, everyone else's dashboard is all looking at the ERP data, which is what's already happened. We add on to that what we believe is going to happen. So you get to look forward. It means like when you drive a car, you want to look out the front windscreen. You don't want to look out the back. We need to see what's behind us, but not for long. We need to be looking forward. So we're all about looking forward. And control tower, as I mentioned, is about making sure.
Some question is team is a dashboard that is update real time, every day or every hour when there's system run.
For most of the planning activities that we do, it would just be daily. it depends on what you're doing. But here, for example, it's not like the line monitoring where you'd be wanting that to update every minute. Or maybe you'd even do you could get away with every hour for production quantities, but in terms of status of the line, you want that to be instant. If the line had stopped, you want to know about it. So because this is planning information, it tends to be more about, what are we expecting to sell over the next month or by the end of the year? And what are we expecting to make perhaps today, but more likely it's going to be, what is that inventory going to look? Where has it been? Where is it today? Where will it be at the end of the year? So we tend to be more like a daily update or an on-demand update. So if we change the capacity plan, we'd update the dashboard. Or if we change the schedule, it updates the dashboard. But it's on that activity. When you change something, then it updates.
Okay, that's the logic. When something changes, that what will be changed.
Yep.
Right.
So, this tends not to be that live ticking over of what have we made, or what are the sales for today. So it's a bit longer period tracking. There's no reason.
Okay, that they can do like historian on dashboard also, right?
Say again.
Historian information dashboard is mean when we need to look at back as 3 months or 6 months.
Yes.
Can look on that.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
We still have all the history. We just add to it the forward projection. Is that to me? I stopped our development on dashboard about 5 or 6 years ago because SAP had released SAP HANA and at a great expense, but they released SAP HANA and Oracle had their BDE or whatever it is, but their database, their data warehouse. And I just thought, look, everyone's got them. What's the point? And now, it was only a year ago, I was looking at what people are doing and just going, no one's doing it sensibly. They're all just looking at what's happened forward. So we've reintroduced Prophit dashboard because
right.
Technically it's no different from any other dashboard, but in practical sense, because we have access to these plans of forecasting, capacity planning and e-planner and so on and all that stuff, we can push all that stuff in here and give you a forward look, which is very different. But that's something, if we were working together, SittipornM, that's an area where we would be providing the technology, but I'd imagine people like yourselves would have a lot of, conversations with the customers, and you'd be doing a lot of that shaping yourself and deciding what you want to show and helping the customers put that together and plumb that all through. So look, they're the products. I'm conscious of the time, but is there any of those that you'd like to see some more of?
That is okay. That is okay. Clear.
Give you enough to think about.
That is many options for the customer right now.
Yeah. Excellent.
It's probably worth pointing out with regards to the Prophit e-planner. That's where we've certainly worked with OFS to automatically exchange the schedule.
Yep. So what in one direction, I'm actually looking through their APIs at the moment where it's common for us to pass via XML to OFS. We pass the schedule, and what we want to start getting back, and what we do with progress, and what I want to do with OFS is get back, for example, the last 5 times we ran that product, and what the run rate, what the throughput rate was, what the changeover time was, these kind of metrics, and exclude the best and the worst. So we'll just use like the average of the middle 3 observations to allow us. I don't like automatically updating the rates, but tell the planner if the observed rates is different from what they're currently planning to give them a warning, saying we think you want to use the OFS rate, which would be the actuals. So we want to let them do that and let them choose to update it, but I wouldn't want to automate that because sometimes, if you have a bad breakdown, it might skew the results and it may not have anything to do with the product. So I don't like to automate that stuff, but it's good to let the planner know that, wow, your ERP is telling you can run that at 5,000 an hour, but the last 3 times you run that, the last 5 times you run that, OFS is saying you only manage 2,000 an hour, so you might want to plan at 2,000. So that feedback is very useful.
Right, I think so. It's most of customer, if they have more SKU in their product, that is more benefit from your system.
Yeah,
so for example, is automotive. That is I think is very good, and also food and beverage.
Yes.
Some product they have is more SKU. That is really helpful for planner system, and I think it's not only planner. That is warehouse and supply chain will be really is a benefit on that.
Yeah, I think you're really right. That's a really good observation too, SittipornM. We had a look a long time ago. We had a look at our plant that the company here is called CSR, and they make roof tiles. And in Australia, they have maybe 12 different types of roof tiles. And with 12 SKUs, there's no need for our tools because anybody can manage it inside the ERP or an Excel. There's not enough complexity to warrant it. So I'd agree with that. But if you've got hundreds or thousands of SKUs, then you need help. And our tools are going to help there.
Right. Okay.
That's a good way of considering it. Is there anything else that we can help you with at the moment, or would you like me to send you this presentation, SittipornM?
That is would be great. Send me the presentation because I already talked with my team. Tomorrow I will present them again. What is a benefit of Prophit suit, and also which we need to focus some other customer. Not only is VC Thailand, but other customer. That is a major. I think this is a what I think is a ERP and with shop for this. They have some gap on that.
Yes.
So if we can fill on the gap and customer pain point, that's is major thing. I think is who have is a ERP or SAP maybe 100%. Most of them more than 60% still use Excel.
Yeah.
Right. So this is if it's we can demo them and show them what is the new system, because this is I think is a digital platform to help them a lot and reduce time to decision and reduce people decision maker in the same time. Just the system is provide more information to decide. This is a more benefit.
You're exactly right, and I think well summarized. You've done a good job of grasping that and summarizing that. To me, again, I'm not 100% sure at what level you work in, but my expectation is you can hand people these tools, even if they're perfectly configured, and they still won't use them well. We have to, and this is where I think working with you would be really good. We need people on the ground who can actually coach them in how to use them. And if we were to work together, SittipornM, I'd imagine we would coach your people in how to help them, and eventually they would be able to do it themselves.
Right.
That's having people that are culturally aware. I'm no good in Thailand. I'm not culturally sensitive to enough. But having locals who are good at their job and can understand how to coach other people, that's really, really good. And so if you've got good tools and you've designed the right process and you can coach them in using it, now you've got something that really works and delivers value.
Right. I think it's a very good. It's a future. One thing we do something. I just to share you like this.
Please.
Right now we do is a industrial 4.0 education in Thailand market with the Thai Federal Institute. It means it's a agency from government. What we do, we separate is a 3 layer. Top layer is MRP and ERP, right? The middle layer is MES. Then the shop floor layer, that is machine automation or whatever we want. We try to expedite some more benefit from ERP and MRP. It's not success much. Then we try to do is in the middle level is like MES, manufacturing execution system. So your software like a bridge from the MES to ERP. To look at the more productive for the shop floor operation. Right. So I think this is fulfill some gap because most of Thai industry they need smart factory. How they smart if they still need Excel, revise from Excel. Then some decision maker from some people, not from the system. Cannot share information. That I think wow. I try to look at your more information in your website. I think that is more value in our market in Thailand.
Okay, that's really good insight. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, look, we'd love to work more with you on that and understand what we can do to help there. I'm going to also, I've been recording it. I'll provide that to you. I don't know how big the file is, but if I can't mail it, I'll put it on Dropbox so you can get it, and I'll share it on Dropbox. But so you'll be able to,
okay.
Yeah, so you can share that and this presentation with your staff. And yeah, whenever you want, I'm happy to give you some examples of any of these products. But like I said, it's too much to go through each product. We can do an hour demo on each one, and everyone's head's full.
Right.
So good. And I think I'm going to be out in 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, it'll be 2 to 3 weeks when I'm next out in Thailand. So when I've got the dates, I'll let you know, and I'll try and meet you on the way out to Pattaya or on the way back.
Right. We can do other thing also, Tim. If we have information and we understood your solution, we can arrange seminar program with the customer. Maybe a big group, for example, about 40% something who interest. This is a feature, because we cannot hunt one by one. We need hunt from the group.
Okay.
Then we do like a seminar and some promotion with the Thailand federal industry. This is more benefit, because it's not cost. We have a seminar room with them. We have organizer to do that. I think this is more benefit, because this is one thing, the way to go for smart factory and industry 4.0 platform.
Yeah, look,
that's exciting, and exciting idea. Well.
So please let me know what you need from us to help make that happen.
Right. So we try to understand an arrangement, because when you have a Thailand trip, maybe we need only half day to present that, or show some demo, or look at the customer testimonial, what the benefit from them, why is ROI 400%, and why you not try to do something better. Right.
Yep, sure. Okay. Yeah, look, that sounds exciting. I'd be happy to help in any way we can in that. That sounds exciting.
Right.
So the other, and I don't propose we solve it now, but perhaps when we meet in person, we should talk about ways that we can work together in terms of, for us, we have relationships where they can be as light as referral sales, where you get a commission on a sale, and it can be deeply embedded as that we fully teach your people on how to implement, and we just support remotely. But there's quite a transition between those, because there's various levels of skills required in each of these products. But and if we're going to a full implementation where you're getting significant amount of license fee and all of the implementation fees, that's an exciting model for both of us. But normally we'd require some on-site coaching with you for a couple of products before your team would get used to how to implement them. So there's interesting ways that we can work. And with all of these things, we're very flexible. We want to make sure that we don't have all the answers. We know what's worked in the past, but we don't have all the answers. And you've obviously worked with other vendors, so you know what works for you, and you might have experience about what could work better for you. So we're very, very flexible and keen to understand what could work. So, anyway, I'll welcome your ideas when we meet in person. Maybe we can talk through some of that and explore what seems to.
At the moment, what we look at your software benefit, we try to think that is a tool to help customer to get more productivity and real-time decision making. And also we tried right now is a global or internet really good. You can support us from Melbourne. Then it's also in Thailand. We have a Thai customer that we can train them, we can consult them directly. We can use same language with them. We understand what they want. Then we try to at the mid, then we communicate with your guy, communicate with customer to ensure that they expect what they need. Then they achieve what their operation need. Because a major thing we try to challenge customer is how competitive in the industry in the global market, not only Thailand market, because right now it's a global chain is a big impact, maybe disruptive them if they cannot use is a more convenient tool or fit with that new technology what they want. Then we think is for the future is a challenge, or first we need our people learn and understand your solution first. Then after that we look at what is a benefit or how to share benefit from the customer.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. No, very good. I think you'll be pleased to know we're doing a lot of research in not just Industry 4.0, but specific things like blockchain and how that's going to the implications to planning and to businesses. For example, if food grade materials all require blockchain transactions and traceability, what does that mean when we're scheduling? What does it mean when we're planning? What does it mean when we're purchasing? So we're looking at how we're going to accommodate for that. We're looking at how we're going to interact with cobots, the robots that work in next to people, like in packing operations and stuff. So So we're looking all the time at what, and I've appointed a person that's their sole job is to keep on top of the research about what's changing, what's going to impact on our planning decisions, so that we're getting ready. And I agree with you. I think that there's, I've seen small examples that Thailand is doing in some sectors doing very, very well, getting a lot of interest, and they're doing a lot of food production for the US, which is great.
Right. True.
And in my opinion, with our client base, we're finding the two best countries in Asia to work in, Thailand and Vietnam, in terms of the intention of the people in the factories and in the management teams to look for better ways of working and genuinely want to do a good job, and grow and prosper in a very sensible way. So, I think you've got a lot of things are going well in your environment, and if they can be coalesced with the right technologies, then I think it'll continue to grow and grow. So I think that the experience that China's had is, people are getting tired of trying to deal in China, and I think there's a real opportunity for some of the Asian countries that are better structured for working with, and you guys are definitely one of those. So.
Right. This is one thing can fulfill in the new ecosystem on Industry 4.0. Your product really fit on that, I think.
Good.
Right.
And we'll continue to look for how we plug in the tools like OFS and Progress, and we're knowing that they're using online sensors and stuff, but we want to continue to use that feedback to continually refine what we're doing, so that the planners are in control.
May I have some question about data analytics?
Please.
In your Prophit suite, is data analytics can explain is some customer they need to do some business intelligence that they can link, or how they can gather your data like ETL to the dashboard or business intelligence dashboard.
Yep. So our data, the easiest structure for that is we typically get the data out of the ERP system in any way we can. We're quite opportunistic. So whether they're files out of SAP, we rarely put our hands in. We normally get the data passed. And Oracle's the same. We normally have to get data written in overnight runs, and then we grab it and then we process it from there. Once we've dealt with it, and other systems, Microsoft and JD Edwards and so on, allow us to put our hands in Sightline, we can put our hands straight into the database and get the data. Once we've got it, we put it into a SQL server. We call it the Prophit server, but we put it all into a SQL server so it's readily available. So it's available to anyone, and it's available anytime. So that makes connectivity, and it's a Microsoft SQL server. So it's very, very available, and it can also go into Azure. We've been working with Microsoft for some time now, so our products have it's equally easy to get it on the cloud in Azure, or just on a SQL Server database on your independent network, on your wide area network. And the dashboard, for example, uses that. But if a client's got their own database or dashboard system that they're already using. Then we just pass the data, provide links into the SQL server, and away they go.
Okay, that's great. Because most of customer they thinking about data analytics. Some our customer they need to find out some data scientist. I said no, you don't need to do that. You just to find some people in your organization to understand what to use, not to do.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Decide what problem you want to solve, and you'll find it very easy to unravel. If you employ a data scientist, you'll get trends and diagnosis on stuff that means nothing to you. So.
Okay. That's quite clear. I think it's that I understood more feature in your product. That is more than what I thinking. That is some model you already have is implement.
Okay.
For example, is profit optimization. This is really helpful. And I think what I try to think, because some customer they have ERP like some MM module in the operation that is will be compared with your profit suite. That's it.
Okay. SittipornM, thank you so much for your time. I'm really looking forward to catching up with you in person. I'll get this information off to you now, and look forward to talking soon. So. Right.
We will try to get more understand when if we have some more question, we will let you know.
Yeah, please.
More understand.
Please. Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Tim and Robert. Right, one is
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Senator.
Okay, thanks so much. Bye now.
Bye now.
Bye.